Today we're taking a reading from Today Takes Everything, the blog that some of you actually know exists. Vim, text editor and extension of your will. Some tasks are so mundane and seemingly simple, we just don't bother asking if there's a better way. This is a story of being forced to ask that question, and the education that changed almost everything about the way that I work. For the better. Long ago in my teens, I wanted to start programming, and went for the most professional choice, Borland C++ Builder 3, and failed both miserably and expensively. I did more research and found something less structured and more forgiving, Perl. But Perl was Linux only, and all I really knew about Linux at the time was that it and all the programming tools and the languages on it were unbelievably free. That was really all I needed to know. Getting Linux installed back then was pretty hard for a newbie, and the learning curve was ridiculous. But after weeks of effort and countless false starts, I was rewarded with a blinking command prompt, which is just text input and output. Getting pretty graphics working meant editing config files without a mouse or Windows Notepad. To edit those files, I had to type an odd command to open an even odder text editor, Vim. I thought I would learn Vim just to edit files to get graphics working. To use it, you needed to press I to edit the file that you opened, which felt like turning a key to start a car and then turning another key to actually use it. I didn't really understand it at the time, but I didn't really need to. Press I to edit, press escape, and then colon, and then W and Q to save? Okay, sure, whatever. Using HJKL to move instead of the arrow keys wasn't weird because I had played the game NetHack, which used the same keys to move. It was probably NetHack that kept me using Vim even after the graphics were working, and I had my choice of editors with amazing cutting-edge features like mouse support, colors, a GUI, and Windows 3.1 was winning in this category. Other things like picture buttons, clicky wiki bits. These are the benefits of a GUI here. Vim kind of felt like a game, and using only the keyboard made me feel like I was in the movie Hackers, where everyone just pounds on the keyboard as windows open and close and text scrolls across the screen. Movies still like ignoring the mouse. The mouse is slow and telegraphs actions, letting the audience know what's about to happen. If someone just moves the mouse pointer to something, you know they're about to click it. But when the hero just mashes the keyboard and things happen, it looks like magic. If you don't believe me, browse to this address, geektyper.com/umbrella, and press F11 and just start mashing the keyboard. Do it, it's fun. I remember, fondly, a coworker mocking me for pretending to type things by just mashing the keyboard. Confused, I showed him that with Vim, I was actually doing stuff. It looked like magic to him, and that was enough for me. I was hooked. So Vim was like a game, and it made me look cool and feel cool. But as I used it, I realized something even more addicting. Much like a skilled craftsman's hands knew exactly what to do to perform a task, my common editing tasks were becoming automatic through muscle memory. When I thought, save and quit, my hands had already typed escape :WQ. I couldn't even finish the thought, I need to delete this line and type something new, before my hands had already typed DDO. When I spotted te 2 words ahead of my cursor, my hands had already typed WWLXP. I edited text almost as fast as I could think. Vim had become an extension of my will, an appendage. I moved naturally through ones and zeros. Forget movies. This really did feel like magic. Unfortunately, my Vim education stopped there for years. Even after I started programming professionally, Vim was just pressing I, typing stuff, and :WQ. Of course, there were some odd commands thrown in there to move the cursor around as arrow key replacements, but Vim was just a cooler version of Notepad that had features to bypass the mouse. I had everything I needed and had no reason to go further. Fast forward to my new job, and one of my coworkers is a Vim user too. There's a little camaraderie between Vim users, the same way there's camaraderie between anything where there's two major camps. Vim versus Emacs, Chevy versus Ford, 1911 versus Glock, etc. As I found myself spending more time editing text, I slipped back into Vim easily, but my coworker was on another level entirely. I thought I had magic, but she moved columns of CSV files, text, and refactored code faster than I could even visually keep up. I felt like that coworker who mocked my apparent keyboard mashing. This was magic. So I started looking into advanced Vim skills and realized that I had been missing more than what the keys did. I had been missing the actual design of Vim. I had been using a car as a radio. I had been using a grand piano as a table to write music. I had been using a tiny, tiny fraction of the power of Vim. What fraction I had been using superficially. I was using a paintbrush to draw stick figures while others were creating masterpieces. I was embarrassed. It's been a year or so of diving deeply into not just how to use Vim, but how to think in Vim. Motions, objects, editing, dovetailing perfectly together to bring this magic to a whole nother level. Now, I don't write code to reformat a 5,000 line file. I do it live in Vim. I don't even write substantial emails outside of Vim. The editing just takes too long. This post was written in Vim. And even now, as I adapt it to WordPress's funny text entry field, I still write JK space HCW to stop typing enter command mode and go to the beginning of the line and change the first word. It's automatic. This editor is my tool of choice for so much, and I'm so much richer, better, and many times faster in almost all my work having mastered it. It is a force multiplier, to borrow a military term. As with most things I dive into, I try to perfect my understanding before I try to fix, so I'm very light on plugins. I just want to learn the full potential of Vim and use it correctly. It's said that only a master can outshoot his rifle. Only by reaching the zenith of your physical and mental skill can you look at your rifle and say, I am capable of more accuracy than this rifle can mechanically deliver. I hope one day to achieve that level with Vim, but I truly can't imagine it coming anytime soon. No matter how remedial the video or website, you'll almost always discover something new that you can work into your workflow. Some tiny piece you've never heard of before that makes you question if you've even begun to scratch the surface. Technically, Vim is older than I am, and I'm not sure if I'll ever catch up. But I still improve, and I still enjoy watching people see the magic for the first time. So obviously this was written a while ago. And aside from a few typos, most of this is exactly accurate. Do try that geek typing thing right here. I don't know if it'll work here. Let's find out. There we go. Check it out. Bam. Oh. Sorry, I have Vim Vixen tied in so that when I type things, look at that. I'm hacking the Gibson. You seeing this? Crossover. Amazing. Access granted. This is brilliant. Highly recommend. Mess around with this. Yeah, it was really, really troublesome getting that Borland C++ builder working. Realizing that it was far beyond my skill level. It had no introduction. It had no explanation for why we were doing the things we were doing. We were just doing them. We were just learning what polymorphism was, And the second week, and it's like, I'm not even close to this. Getting Linux working on that system was truly, truly difficult. And we obviously didn't have any kind of Stack Exchange. So it was a trial by fire. And I would have given up a lot of times, but I just didn't want to. Tenacity is the key word here. I think that's all I got for this one, except for fixing a few typos. So let me know your thoughts. See you later.